I went on 2 separate days of shopping with my friends for comics, so this is day 2. So stay tuned to find out what I got on this really long day of shopping. Hey guys, and welcome into another haul video here. Haul video number 135. Hope you guys are having a great day, great week, a great month. Um, yeah, this is another day of hauls here. This is the second day of my haul for this giant comic book trip that I went on with my friends. And I'm really excited to go over kind of what I got and just kind of talk about, what we went through and what we did on that day. So I'll kind of say that for that section. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the comics here. I think I'm just going to have this haul be just my comic haul for this trip. So next haul video, you'll see some more comics and trading cards. So I definitely have all 3 sections there for that one for you. But for this one, unfortunately, we'll just do that, the comics. So let's get into it. Alright guys, welcome into the comic book section here for haul video number 135, which is the only section we'll have here for today. But yeah, really excited to go through this stuff here with you guys. As I mentioned, this is the second day's worth of haul for this giant comic book trip that I went on with my friends. So if you want to know more about the first day's worth of stuff, definitely go check out haul video number 134. But for today, we'll go over this stuff. This was a very long day of trips. We actually went around the Allentown, Bethlehem area to shop. That was my old stomping grounds where I used to live a couple years back. So we hit up a bunch of stores there. We went to a couple Ollie's, went to Second and Charles. We went to the Encounter in Allentown, Pennsylvania, which is a great store. We went to Tales of Adventure in Coopersburg, PA. So that was really fun. And then went to a couple Books A Million, stuff like that. But yeah, overall, it was a really fun day. Started off pretty early. We hit a bunch of stores in the morning. Got Miller's Ale House for lunch, which is like a chain here. I don't know if it's something that's around the whole country or whatever, but that was really yummy. And then we went from there to shop a little bit more, and then we had dinner near the last store. So that was really fun. It was really awesome to meet up with a bunch of my friends again. I saw a lot of them yesterday, but more of them were there that day. And then even some of my older friends from the club that I started at Penn State joined us for dinner. So I got to hang out with them and talk to them a little bit. But no, it was really fun. I found a lot of stuff. Compared to the first day, I didn't really find a lot of stuff, but that was only because we went to a couple stores. But yeah, this haul, I definitely went a little overboard maybe, but all this stuff is things that I really wanted for my collection, so I'm glad I have it, and I'm glad I picked it up. So we'll go through it here. The first thing I have here on this haul, or actually before I get into that, I do want to talk about what I'm reading. So I think since the last film or haul video that I filmed, I finished the Walking Dead comics, so that was really fun. Got to read that and really enjoy that series, and it reminds me and my girlfriend have to get back on watching the show. We've almost done with season 2, but yeah, really enjoyed the ending there. Very rewarding. I won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't watched or hasn't read the series, but I definitely was satisfied with the ending for sure. And then from there, I jumped into reading Clementine. So I read that. That was a really quick read. I was kind of expecting her character to show up towards the end of Walking Dead, but she never did. And this is just another story that's based around it. So it's actually a 3-part series. So books 2 and 3 should be coming out. I think book 2 is coming out later this year, and then book 3, I'm assuming, will be coming out early next year. So I'm probably gonna wait for both of them to come out before I finish it. I just want to make sure I can read the whole series in one sitting, or like one, run, I guess. So I read that. I read Incognito, which was really good. That was a quick read there, but really, really thought-provoking story there, and yeah, just an interesting take on that. So that was really a good read. And I'm trying to think what else I read. Let's see. I read The Invisible Woman miniseries. So I think I mentioned when I picked it up, I did read I think issues 1 and 2, I think, and I jumped off the series. So I finished reading the whole series. It was pretty meh. It wasn't great, wasn't awful. So that's that. And now I've been playing some catch up with Amazing Spider-Man. So I read the Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection, The Hero Killers, and I'm currently reading the Return of the Spider Slayers, or something like that. That's the one I'm reading right now, so that's pretty cool. Just filling in that 90s gap that I kind of left there. Those two epics fall between Round Robin and the Maximum Carnage epic, or for me, I just have a collection of that stuff. So there's that. I also did read, I forgot to mention this, I also did read Death in the Family, the Batman collection, which also has The Lonely Place of Dying. So I read that. That was really a great read. Jim Starlin and Marv Wolfman, respectively, on those two stories, I thought was really good. The story flowed so well, and yeah, really, when you think about it, it's a really pivotal moment in Batman's history. I mean, you really have all three Robins pretty much like in one space at the same time, and yeah, just all of them in different spaces too in their lives, which I thought was a really interesting aspect to that book that I enjoyed. So yeah, really I read that pretty much in one sitting. Like I read it on the airplane off, because I was traveling this past week at the time of this recording, and I read that book pretty much in one sitting on the plane. I had like maybe 50 pages left to read the next day, but otherwise I was really flying through that book, so that was a really great read. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with my reading right now. Just trying to finish that Spider Slayers epic collection, and then I think I don't know where I'm gonna go next. Thinking about an Image series or whatever. The next book, or the next movie for Marvel that I have to prep for, is Guardians, which I've already read most of my Guardians stuff. So it's just Donny Cates collection, Jerry Duggins, and Old Man Quill. So not a lot there, but yeah. Otherwise, I'm on pretty good track here for the year. So we'll get into this whole 6-minute intro side. I'll go through this here real quick. So the thumbnail for this haul here is the first book here, which is Daredevil Noir. Found this at a shop for $5, so wanted to pick this up. This collects Daredevil Noir 1 through 4, written by Alexander Irvine, and illustrated by Tom Coker, or I think that's how you pronounce it. So interesting here, this is the second noir book I have. The first one I have was Iron Man Noir, which I recently read. Didn't really like it too much. It was pretty mid in my opinion. It was a weird take on the character. Just don't know really what the mood or the audience is for these noir books. But otherwise, for $5, I think it's a pretty good little read here. I do like the size of this, kind of like a digest version, so like that. But yeah, we'll throw that into the collection of Daredevil stuff I have. This next book, as I peel this sticker off because it's really annoying, is Batman Broken City by Brian Azzarello with Eduardo Rizzo on art. Yeah, basically I took a flyer on this. My friends told me this is really good, and for $5 they said it was a pretty good deal, so I went and picked it up. And obviously Brian Azzarello, really great creator, so I'm sold, and really excited to read this. I probably should take it out of the plastic. Let's take a look at this on the inside here. Oh, yeah, that looks beautiful. So really, really great art going on there, and a nice little series. I'm trying to think which issues. So this collects issues 620 through 625 of Batman Broken, or of Batman. So I'll have to, I definitely mapped it out on my spreadsheet, so I'll have to make sure to see where this fits in. I believe this comes before Grant Morrison's run. I'm pretty sure it does. So yeah, this is really, really cool, and I'm glad I have another little Batman book there to read. There's a receipt there, so get rid of that. The next 3 books here are part of a series that my friend sold me on pretty blindly again. That's really the downside to going on these trips sometimes, is I get talked into buying stuff a lot, as do most of my friends, I feel like. But I thought the premise of this was easy, and, you know, or not easy, but I thought it was intriguing. And for only 3 trades, I think it's a really nice, quick read. I mean, it's not like a huge commitment of reading. You know, if it was like a 12-volume series, I probably would pass. But for 3 volumes, I think this is a really cool read here. And that is the Black Hood. So this is a Dark Circle Comics series, and I believe this is an Archie character, if I'm not mistaken, from the Archie Comics you know, line. That's what my friend told me, at least, I think. And this collects issues 1 through 5 of the series. So another intriguing thing too is that this character is from Philly, which I am located about 45 minutes away from, and I do identify with the sports teams. You know, they're my sports teams that I support. So for what it's worth. But yeah, this is really cool. I picked up volume 1, and then I got volume 2 here called The Lonely Crusade. This collects, I think, issues 7 through 11 of the series. So there's that, which is interesting. I don't know. 1 through 5, and then plus issue 6. Okay, so this is issue 6. This is 1 through 6. This is 7 through 11 here. So yeah, really neat. Like this art here. This is Michael Gaydos. If anyone is not familiar, this is the artist from Alias, I want to say. Yes. Yeah, from Jessica Jones. They write Jessica Jones, but Alias is what the series was called. But yeah, it looks really promising from that end, so I'm really excited to read that. And then we have volume 3, which is actually volume 2 of the series, or season 2 is what they call it. And I think this collects issues 1 through 5 of that. So, and I believe this is the last series. I don't think it got any more than this. So there's that. So we have more really good art going on there. So I think this is gonna be a quick read. You know, this looks like some vigilante, like, you know, street level vigilante, you know, crime comics type of stuff. So I'm really excited to dig my teeth into that and give it a read at some point. So thanks, Vince, for the suggestion, and I'm excited to get into that. All right. So next book here, as I pull out this receipt, I really got to throw these receipts away, is a mini series that I found at Second and Charles, which you know, I wasn't really on the radar for, but I really was intrigued by this character. You know, throughout the summer, as I've chronicled over the course of these haul videos, I have read pretty much the entirety of volume 1 of Thor. And throughout that series, obviously, this character shows up in Walter Simonson's run. And from what I've heard from my friends, this character has had multiple miniseries, and I'm hopeful that I can find them at some point and give them a read. But for right now, I was able to find one of the more recent ones, and that is Beta Ray Bill, Argent Star. And I believe this might be the 2nd or 3rd miniseries of Beta Ray Bill. So this collects issues 1 through 5 of that series. It's a miniseries, so it's, you know, all contained here in this nice paperback, and some intriguing art here going on. I really like that. You know, it kind of flows really well. It makes Beta Ray Bill look pretty menacing, which I like. But yeah, like I said, this was not on my radar, and I'm really happy to pick this up. I think this is gonna be a really fun read. I got this for $4, so I can't really argue with that, right? So yeah, we'll give this a quick read at some point. I like having, like, when I travel especially, I like having like quick miniseries books like this to read through, as well as longer form books. So, you know, as I read through the longer form book, like an epic or a complete collection or something like that, if I get tired of it for a little bit, I can switch over to this and read a couple issues of this and then go back to whatever I'm reading originally. Definitely helps cleanse the palate in a sense there. But yeah, really fun to get that, and a nice addition to the collection for sure. All right, another book here that I found at Second and Charles was a book that I know a lot of my friends have and have claimed that this book has made them cry because it's just so emotional. And any book that makes someone feel that way is a book I want to try and read about. So I'm really excited to show off what I picked up here, and that is Day Tripper by Fabio Moon and Gabrielle Ba. So yeah, this is the entire series. This is a Vertigo series. Honestly, I don't know too much about it, but you know, like I said, I know it's very sad, or not a sad story, but it's a very emotional story. So I'm really excited to see kind of what this is about. So again, a nice kind of like a self-contained graphic novel here to read and enjoy. And again, this is something that has come about just by suggestions from my friends. So I'm really excited to give this a read. You can see here the back of that as well. Got this for about $8, so I thought that was a pretty good deal for that. Okay. Moving on here, we get into some other books I got here from Second & Charles as well. And this is the Elektra Assassin miniseries. This is by Frank Miller with art by Bill Sienkiewicz. So this collects Elektra Assassin numbers 1 through 9. You know, it's Miller and Bill Sienkiewicz. I mean, what else can I say, right? I mean, it's gonna be great. You know, this was another one that my friends kind of just threw in my hands and was like, you need this, buy this. So yeah, I mean, my Elektra collection is really slim. I mean, I have a couple of her more recent miniseries, so I have that. Obviously, I've read Daredevil by Frank Miller and Klaus Jensen, stuff like that. And I've obviously, you know, read her introduction in there, but this is a nice little addition to that collection as well. So really cool to get this for $8, so you can't beat that. And some of this Bill Sienkiewicz art is just out of this world. That's not really a good representation of it. Yeah, just really, really, really different artwork, I feel like, from him. Just so much different than any other artist during that time. So really cool to get that. All right. Moving on here, another book I picked up at this one store for $5 is Final Crisis, sorry. And this collects Final Crisis number 1 through 7, Superman Beyond numbers 1 through 2, and Submit number 1, as well as Batman 682 to 683. So reason why I picked this up was because this does fall in the middle of Grant Morrison's run on Batman. So from what, you know, you can kind of see here on the front cover, as well as, you know, people have told you, but I was told that Batman does die in this series. So, and obviously he comes back to life in, you know, further series in Grant Morrison's run. So yeah, pick this up, and I'm probably gonna keep this in the Fs just so I have it alphabetized, because it is an event first and foremost. But when I do get around to reading Grant Morrison's run, I will read this in order of where it shows up in his run. So yeah, this will probably be higher up on the list of reads than further down, if that makes sense. But yeah, for $5 though, I mean, this is a really thick book. You can see here some artwork going on. I think that's a really good deal for $5. So, and that was from The Encounter. So they have a whole section of $5 graphic novels and other collected editions that were really good. So I ended up picking that up. All right. Another book I got from that same area was The Golden Age by James Robinson, Paul Smith, and Richard Ory. This is an older collection of this, it looks like, but this is a bunch of Golden Age like heroes, like reimagined from DC, which I think is a really cool take. You know, I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of background on a lot of these characters, but I'm really interested to see kind of how well, that's a really cool page, how they kind of tie them together and explore their past. So yeah, this is the part where I kind of have a blind spot too, but I think regardless, I'll still enjoy it. So yeah, really cool. James Robinson, really great writer. Still have to read Starman, so I'm staring right across from it and staring me back in the face. Okay, moving on here. We went to this other place, Tales of Adventure in Coopersburg, which I would certainly recommend to anyone who's in the area. It's like about maybe 15 minutes south of Allentown. They have a whole slew of like short boxes and long boxes to go through of singles. And then they also have this whole section of graphic novels that you can do buy. It's buy one, get one. Or is it? Yeah, it's buy one, get one free. So everything is, buy one, get one free. There's a bunch of stuff to pick from. So if you're in the area, I would certainly recommend hitting them up. They have such a crazy inventory of stuff to pick from. But I picked up a lot of novels or graphic novels from them, or collected editions, trade paperbacks. One of them was Volume 5 of Green Arrow by Benjamin Percy. So this collects issues 26 through 31 of Green Arrow. And this is, again, one of those Rebirth collections series that I'm collecting in trade. So really cool to get that for half off, pretty much. All right, let's see here. So the next group of books, the next group of books was a series from Image that I was seeing a lot of, but like wasn't really too sure about. And again, my friend talked me into it and explained to me what the premise of the story was, and I was pretty intrigued by it. I thought it was a pretty cool premise, and so I ended up picking up the first 6 volumes of this series. And excuse me, this is an ongoing series, so there is more trades coming out. I think they're up to volume 8 now, so that's pretty interesting there. So I don't foresee myself reading this anytime soon until the series is concluded and I can read it all in its entirety. But that series is Manifest Destiny. So I got the first 6 volumes here. So this is volume 1, collecting 1 through 6 of the series. And basically it's, from what I've heard, it's well, I'll read this to you here. It says, in 1804, Captain Meriwether Lewis and Captain William Clark set out on an expedition to explore the uncharted American frontier. This is the story of what they discovered lurking in the wilds. Skybound unveils the monsters of the western frontier in the adventure of a lifetime by writer. So it's a take on Lewis and Clark and kind of their explorations of the United States. But it's crazy how much stuff they go into here. So this is the first volume. We got the second volume here, Amphibia and Insecta. This collects issues 7 through 12 of the series. So you can see here some art. I'll try not to show anything that's too graphic. But yeah, here's that. I'm sorry if you heard a dog barking. This is volume 3, which I picked up at an Ollie's. So volumes 1 and 2, and then 5 and 6 I picked up at Tales of Adventure, and then volumes 3 and 4 I picked up at Ollie's. So here's volume 3. This collects issues 13 through 18. You can see here some artwork going on there. We got volume 4, Sasquatch. So it's pretty interesting here. This collects issues 19 through 24. So like, I mean, this seems like a really long series, and obviously if it's going on pretty long, obviously that means that it's doing something right. It's a good book, right? I mean, I can't imagine it being awful if it's been, this much. So this is volume 5. This collects issues 25 through 30 of the series. This is titled Menophobia and Chronophobia. So here's that. Really like the artwork here. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like Jeff Lemire's art. Kind of interesting there. And then we have volume 6 here, which is Fortis and Invisibilia. Really like the artwork on this. This collects issues 31 through 36 of the series. So you can see here kind of what that looks like. So like I said, at some point once the series concludes, I'll read these. But for right now, I'm going to hold off reading them because I don't want to make the same mistake I made with like Saga or Lazarus, where I started reading them, got all caught up, and then realized that they were ongoing, and I was like, shit, I have to go back and like, it's always tough because it's like when you get the newest volume, you kind of have to think back to, like, it's hard to remember everything that's happened in the past. I'd rather just read it all once and have my own take on it all together. So that's kind of how I'm going to approach that. Okay. Getting down to the pile here, I'll pick this up so we can go through this a little bit quicker because we're already at 23 minutes. Picked up volume 4 of Nightwing. So recently got volume 3 of Nightwing Rebirth on clearance on IST. So picked this up at Annalis for $4. This collects issues 22 through 28 of Nightwing. Yeah, really, really interested. I mean, I have so many Rebirth volumes of stuff for DC. I just need to pick one and go into it. So, yeah, there's that. But really interesting. I like, you know, especially after reading this Death in the Family, I'm more and more interested in Nightwing every day, it seems like. So, really cool to get this at some point and give this a read. All right. Next book I got here is another volume of a series that I've been collecting that is finished and finalized. So I can, well, not with this volume, but it's not an ongoing series, so I can actually collect it all and read it at some point. I picked up volume 7 of Postal. So got this for, I believe, half off, which is nice. I saved myself a couple bucks there ordering it through IST, but this collects issue 25 of Postal, as well as Postal Mark and Postal, Postal Mark and Postal Laura. So a couple of, I guess, one-shots, and then you have issue 25. So I think there's only one more volume left for me to collect here, and I'm done, or I may have 2 more. I gotta check, but yeah, really, really closing in on finishing that series up. All right, another book I picked up here, which I thought was pretty interesting. I was able to find this. I did find another store, but I saved my money because I think it was more expensive at that other store. So got it here for a little bit cheaper, and that is Powers, Volume 12. So I think I'm closing in on collecting the whole series. I have, I think, 2 more volumes left to get. This one is called The 25 Coolest Dead Superheroes of All Time. So you can see here some of the art going on in there. Brian Michael Bendis, Michael Avon Oeming, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. This collects Powers 25 through 30, as well as Powers Annual 2008. So this is the second volume of Powers, the 12th collected edition of that. So yeah, this is kind of why that numbering is the way it is. All right, really cool to get that, you know, again, continuing a series I have. Next one I bought here was at Second and Charles, and that is Radiant Black Volume 2. And this is a series that I contemplated back and forth on, just waiting until it comes out in like compendium form or something at some point, because I'm assuming this series is going to go on for a long time. But I just decided to pick up the second trade here. This collects issues 7 through 12 of Radiant Black, excuse me. And I've heard so much good stuff about this series. I mean, look at this artwork. It's just, wow. Really, really great stuff going on here. I'm not be saying holy shit. That's really dope, though. I've heard a lot of comparisons to this, comparing this to Invincible. Even on the back here, it says it's comparing it to Invincible. And these trades are really, really nice quality. So really, really fun. Hopefully I can read this at some point, too. And the last book I got here was one that, again, wasn't on my radar, but my friends told me I needed it because it fills a gap of a series that I've been collecting that I didn't even realize had a gap until I noticed it on my spreadsheet. And that is Superman Reborn. This collects issues of Action Comics 973 to 976, as well as Superman 18 through 19. So this falls, I think, between volumes 2 and 3, I want to say, of Superman Rebirth, or maybe 3 and 4. I think it's 3 and 4. But yeah, this is I guess a separate story that gets addressed in there. So I'll be inserting this between the two. And it's funny, like, this is a standard hardcover, and I remember my friend was asking me, he's like, are you okay with it being standard hardcover? And at this point, like, I could honestly care less about format. I mean, I have some collected things that are in omnibus and then complete collection, or, you know, trades and then complete collection. So, you know, it doesn't really bother me as long as I can read it. You know, I don't see a need to upgrade to something if it's cheaper. You know, this was $6, so I don't see myself finding any cheaper online. So yeah, really, really cool to get this. Here's the back. This is the first Rebirth hardcover I think I have in my collection, so that's a first. But yeah, that is my haul. I know I kind of sped through that, and here we are, half hour later, but a lot of good stuff here. I'm really excited to put all this stuff in my collection now and just have my table clear of things from my hauls. But yeah, that is my haul here for this comic book trip I went on, and let's go ahead and get into the outro for this video. Alright guys, again, thank you so much for watching this. Thank you so much for watching a half hour of me ranting about comics I bought. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and obviously let me know what you guys think of what I picked up in the comments below. But yeah, a lot of good stuff that I got here, just continuing collecting some stuff that I've already had. And you know, it's funny, every time I go on these trips I always think I'm going to come back with less things sometimes, but it seems like I just come back with more and more things. And like I said, it's because of my friends. I hate to say that, but like, I feel like a lot of it's just because my friends talk me into things and tell me things that I need for my collection, and they ask me, do you have this? And it's like, no. It's like, well, you'll need this for this. And I'm like, so it's not a bad thing though. You know, I'd rather read a complete story than 80% of a incomplete story, if that makes sense. So yeah, so that's that. And I'll go ahead and pull all this stuff away on my shelves now, so that's gonna be fun. But until next time, guys, please consider liking this video, subscribing for more content. I do videos like these pretty much every week, unless, you know, I'm busy with other stuff. But there's a whole backlog of stuff to read too, so I highly recommend checking that out too if you're interested in this. But until next time, guys, I will see you on the flip side. Peace.